Hello and welcome to episode 3 of my weekly series, Twitter Feed Sample Beat. In each episode, I go onto Twitter, I find video and audio, and I make music using what I found. If that sounds interesting to you, then please consider subscribing as there's a new episode every Wednesday. Today's episode has a theme, and the theme is pushing yourself. Pushing yourself creatively can mean a lot of different things, and in this episode, what I'm going to push myself to do is to use the audio that I find non-literally. That means that if I find a video where there are people clapping, I'm not just going to sample the claps as claps. Let's go ahead and hop on the timeline and see what we can find. Absolutely insane. Very cool.
I ordered a watch 9 months ago. It's called an avalanche. This is what I call pushing P.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff in there. He's pushing P, avalanche. You know the vibes. We love the count. The count is great. This is very convenient, actually, to just show up on the timeline because this is basically just a bunch of drum sounds. But also pushing ourselves, so we can't really use any of those as drums proper.
If I was in trouble, girl, I'd want you on my side. You got what it takes in everything you do. Yeah, you.
This is like another pretty great find, I'll say. Has that classic 80s, 90s sitcom, Full House, Family Matters, any of those. They all have a very similar sound. And so we just finished looking on Twitter. We found some good stuff. Excited to get to work today. Again, remember the theme is pushing ourselves, right? Pushing myself creatively to interpret these pieces of audio in a non-literal way, right? In a creative way, meaning if it's a drum, I can't just use it as a drum, right? It has to be something else. So that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and get into Logic and start editing stuff down. See you soon. I just spent about 20 minutes going through all the stuff I found, and again, the theme of today's episode is pushing yourself creatively. I had that in mind as I was editing, and I had the idea that instead of using, the percussive elements from either the count video or other things that I found, I thought that I could use the clip of Fat Joe talking and get my percussive elements from there, use the drums and stuff like that to maybe make some melodic elements. So that's kind of where I'm planning to go right now. Yeah, I'm excited to get started working, so that's what I'm gonna do. First thing I'm gonna do is take a look at this 80s sitcom theme song thing and try and chop it up, sample it, something like that. Okay, so we've been working for about 15 minutes. So yeah, a little breakdown of what we have so far. So that's the sitcom intro thing that I chopped up. This sound here, this is from the video of the rollerblader when they were getting ready to grind on that rail. They started pedaling or pushing really hard, and so that's that. This hi-hat sound, that's Fat Joe talking, doing like a T sound, and so I kind of edited it so it sounds like a hi-hat. And so that's kind of where we're at. Been about another 10 minutes. What we've added in the last couple of minutes is this snare noise. And that snare is made out of this, which is from the rollerblading video. The sound of like their blades hitting some like divot in the rail as they're grinding. This is taking so far a lot longer. That's something about pushing yourself, I guess it's important to note, is that when you push yourself, you're going into territory that you're less familiar, so you might get less done in the time that it usually takes you to get something else done, right? It is something to be aware of because you might feel like impatient. Why isn't this progressing as quickly as possible? But it's just a creative exercise, right? Testing the limits of what you thought you could do, right? And it's a learning process, so it's not gonna happen like that. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who's to say? But right now it's not. Not for me right now. Anyways, let's get back to it. Okay, so I just made a keyboard, which is nice. I made it out of this bell. Yeah, so I took that, and then I stretched it out, and then I played some chords with it. These chords. Added some effects, delay, chorus, whatever. Now I try to put a bass line on this, and I'm going to try to make a bass. If that doesn't work, then I'll just play the bass. But yeah, let's get to that. We've spent almost 45 minutes on this, and we don't have a lot, but I really think this is an important insight that when you push yourself, it might take you longer to get the result. I think a big part of pushing yourself is also being patient with yourself and giving yourself the time to learn and grow. Because again, when we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, we're in the unknown now, right? In that space, you need time to find your footing. An interesting development here. I was planning on using this tom, trying to make a bass out of it. I was playing it didn't sound great, and then I was like, oh, well, maybe let's try playing it a little bit higher up. And that's pretty great. So another reason why you should always be patient with yourself. Doing something new here, had an idea, tried it, didn't work, tried something else. I don't even want to say the idea didn't work. It just didn't work in the way that I expected it to, which is another important thing. When you're pushing yourself, you're outside of your zone, you have to be open to other possibilities of how it could go. All right, you know what this needs to really set it off? Thank you so much for watching episode 3 of Twitter Feed Sample Beat. This week's theme was pushing yourself creatively, and I had 2 big takeaways that I came to while working on this. The first being that when you push yourself creatively, you have to be patient with yourself. So just give yourself the space and the time to take longer. Don't get frustrated with yourself, just be patient, and hopefully the patience will pay off. And the second takeaway I came to was when you push yourself creatively, you have to be open to the possibilities of where you end up. If you're going out of your comfort zone, you're going into an unknown space, it's unknown. You don't know where you are. You don't know what to expect. I think that there's value in just being open to possibilities of where pushing yourself may take you. That's going to be all for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this episode either entertaining, insightful, inspiring, maybe all 3. Who am I to say? But if you know, please let me know in the comments. Thank you again for watching. My name is Stefan. This is Twitter Feed Sample Beat, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you next Wednesday.